Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Dee, aka The Messy Perfectionist, and this is a channel where we talk about inspirational things, growth, learning, and if any of that sounds good to you, please consider hitting that little like button, subscribe, and notification bell so that you can be alerted as I upload new content. Today I want to talk about anxiety. I decided to go ahead and record this video after I've been having some anxiety as my date is nearing for my vertical gastric sleeve. If you want to know a little bit more about that, I'll go ahead and put the card up there and you can click on that. I have been living with some form of anxiety in my life since I was probably about 9 years old, at a time before I even knew what anxiety was. When I look back, it manifested itself as migraines. I remember sitting at my grandmother's house, not wanting to go home, and crying on the stairs and having massive headaches that were just the worst headaches I've ever had in my life to this day, even as an adult, and not being able to breathe. I even got diagnosed as an asthmatic when I was that age, about 11. I remember walking around having an inhaler. I'm not an asthmatic. What I am is someone who struggles with anxiety and depression like many of us do. I've been inspired to document this a little bit. Honestly, for our young people, in a lot of ways, I talk to so many young adults and see myself in them and the struggle that they're going through, and my heart really goes out to all of you guys, in your teens and 20s. The first thing Mama D wants to say to you is this: you are not alone. You may feel like it, you may feel like the world is against you, but you are not alone. And I can guarantee that your life 100% is going to change for the better as you grow and you change your perspective and move through these difficult, rough waters. They will not always be difficult, rough waters, I promise you. Sometimes it can feel like it. And we as adults need to remember, for our young people, we need to remember what it was like being their age. We need to remember what it was like to be a teenager, a kid. Do you remember how long the days felt? How 1 year felt so long? Each year in school felt so long. Think about your life now as an adult, the older we get. It's true, the saying, as we get older, time seems to go faster. A year is like a blip, but back then it wasn't. A year is forever. And when you're in turmoil, it feels like eternity, and it's eternity of suffering. And this is really hard to talk about. It's hard to deal with, and I really feel for you guys in that, I graduated high school in the very late 90s, and we didn't have social media back then. I can't imagine what it's like if you're being bullied in school to never get a break from that. I'm sorry for you. I really am. What I encourage you to do is to just start setting some guidelines for yourself. Don't be on social media 24 hours a day, checking to see how many posts have been liked, how many of your pictures have been commented on. You don't need to post every single thing that you eat, drink, say, or do. The challenge to you is and just do one day at a time. Just be in the present moment with that one person that you feel very close to and trust. Be present with that person. Have a no media day. So it's Saturday and you're gonna get together with your BFF. Just try going to the mall or have lunch. And I know it's a crazy time right now with everything with COVID and people and just all of that stuff. There's so many things that feel very dysfunctional in the world right now. But try to just spend time with that person without your phone. Turn it off. Okay, if you can't turn it off, if you're just not ready for that step to turn it off, just put it in your pocket or your bag and just make a commitment to just hang with your friend and talk. And I want you to do this for a few different reasons. I want you to think about how it makes you feel. Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling that pull? Are you feeling like you need to go and grab that phone and just check, Instagram or whatever social media you're addicted to at the moment, right now? Are you feeling like you have to? Do you feel distracted? Do you feel like you just can't even pay attention? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling the noise around you? Are you feeling that from everybody? Pay attention to how you feel. If you're doing this with a buddy, I think it's a kind of cool experience because, like with anything, you can kind of coach each other through it. You can kind of be like, okay, we're going to do this together. We're going to go out Saturday and we're not going to have any media with us. And we're just going to see, how it goes. And you can talk about it. And you could also catch each other. Hey, what you doing over there? I mean, if you got to check your messages, you're getting a text message or something, I understand that. But you can also tell your other friends. If you're not comfortable telling your other friends, I totally get that. I mean, it's really nobody's business but your own, how you live your life, number one. Those who love you will always tell you the truth in a supportive manner and will not make you feel like a piece of crap. People that make you feel like a piece of crap need to go. They're the pieces of crap and they need to go to the garbage, okay? You don't need people that make you feel horrible inside. You don't need them. Okay, so do that with your friend and see how it feels. I think just after doing like one day, if you're totally submerged into that world, you're gonna notice a lot of things about yourself. Any change really starts with awareness. Why am I talking about this example in particular with the electronics and the social media? Because as much as we are connected, it has disconnected us. I left Facebook in 2016 during the election because, as we all know, it was a very divided and still is nation. And I didn't like the things I was seeing. I did not like the ugly that was coming out of so many people. And some of these people I knew, and I knew they were like wonderful people, and they were not ugly people. But how they were shown and perceived on social media was that way. And I think that all does that to us in social media or YouTube. We are more than, maybe in some ways, than how we are in that one-on-one conversation face to face. It's kind of like when you go to that interview and you're kind of on your best, you're trying to put on your best face. It's kind of like that. Well, I feel like people put on their worst face on the internet a lot of times too. And I just decided that I didn't want that. And I have a lot of friends that are out of state and, far away. And I hear people use that a lot as an excuse. Well, that's how I stay in touch. You still have a cell phone. If you don't have a cell phone, you probably have an old landline phone. You have something to communicate. You have mail come to your house. If we're talking really and you might be laughing right now, but I have family that is like living like it is still in 1995. It's crazy, but there are people that are still very disconnected in a lot of ways from us in that world. But and in some ways they're so connected. So they have closer relationships with their family and friends because they're having those one-on-one conversations. So that's my point. Get to talk to someone on that one-on-one basis and just have fun and really learn what human connection is again. It's going to be hard at first if you're really addicted to checking your phone, every 5 minutes, but I think at the end of the day or the weekend or whatever you do for your own challenge, you will feel proud of yourself and in more control, and it creates that awareness, which awareness helps us deal with anxiety. You can't fix anything until you know what's wrong. Just think of everything like that. You can't fix it if you don't know what's wrong. So start with that. Number 2 is the exercise that I used to do when I would have panic attacks. Okay, so I would have panic attacks really bad when I was in my early 20s. Even just so much as like leaving the movie theater, I would have a full-on panic attack because of the crowd. The social anxiety would just flare up. And I didn't know how to deal with any of it then. I was living very self-destructively in a lot of ways and was not at that phase of healing in my life yet. When I did start my healing journey and did start creating awareness with help around these things, an exercise that really helped me was this. I worked at a place where I was a human resource manager, and there were a few very toxic people that would visit my office regularly just to be horrible human beings. And it would cause me great stress and a lot of anxiety and tears when nobody was looking, and it was drama, drama, drama. And on my way to work, I would practice and say, today I only allow good in my life and good out of my life. I only allow good in and I only allow good out, meaning and feeling. I will only take in the good and positive from the people that interact with me, and I will only speak and be positively as well. Now, this is different than running around and pretending you're happy when you're not, okay? This is different. That's a whole nother subject. I am not a big believer in let's just run around and be positive all day long, even if we're like dying inside, because no, that's not helpful. That is called stuffing it down and faking it and hardcore, and that can be a very toxic situation. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying, do that exercise to tell yourself, I'm only going to accept the things in that are good, and I'm only going to speak good. So don't interact and gossip and malicious. I cannot talk today. Do not interact and gossip against people or those kind of conversations that make you feel icky. Or if we're going back to social media, don't interact in those conversations on social media at all that trigger you, that are just, piss you off. Just scroll by or block the person, or if it's a continual thing, you don't have to do these things. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You don't have to be somebody's punching bag, and you don't have to, beat yourself up. So I would do those exercises, and I'll tell you what, that made a huge difference in how I felt every day about going to work. I noticed also that those people that were that I was their human punching bag for stopped coming by. They just stopped visiting as much. It was amazing, and it was a much better experience after that. That's step 1 and step 2. Step 3, come back to your breath. Always come back to your breath. A lot of us are very familiar with meditation. Meditation is a game changer in creating awareness. Meditation has changed my life. When I first started really meditating back in about 2010, it was just starting to gain popularity, but it was still one of those things that wasn't as popular as it is now. Now there's apps and all kinds of things, but I fell in love with 21-day challenges from Oprah Winfrey and Deepak Chopra. And I remember the first one I did was Perfect Health. And that really changed me even more. And when you first start meditating, it's difficult. I'll have what they call the monkey mind. So that's, your mind is going all over the place, and, the thing is to not try and control those thoughts as much as, I'm meditating and my eyes are closed. I'm okay, breathing. Oh, I need to get cheese from the store and I need to finish this for this test. And don't try to like get mad and just be, okay, there it goes flying. It's floating on by. Okay. Just try to be present in the moment. Pay attention to your breath, pay attention to how you're feeling. And I really think meditation, when we start, is really great in the morning. So that's my step number 3. Meditate in the morning before you do anything else for the day, before you pick that phone up and check it, before, you go take your shower and wake up for the day. You want to get your morning coffee or water or whatever you need to do for the morning, but don't start doing your tasks. Don't start your mind, it's like starting your car. Don't start the car yet. Just, if you live where it snows a lot, you gotta brush the car off and shovel the area around. Okay, just take care of what you need to do before jumping into any tasks. And then I want you to meditate. And you could just start with 5 minutes. I did 20 minutes, and the reason I did 20 minutes was because, well, number one, my 21-day challenges were that, but 20 minutes was good because for that first, I felt like 5 minutes, you're just kind of, you might have that monkey mind, or, I felt like 20 minutes was good to kind of like start my day. And at the end of your meditation, set your affirmation for the day. I get up in the morning and I meditate, and I sit there and I think about, okay, today I am going to be kind to myself. And at the end of my meditation, I, will always put my palm, and you do whatever feels good to you. I will just say, today I will speak kindly to myself, whatever your affirmation is. And I really feel like doing that first thing in the morning sets that intention, and it's a much better way to start your day. So those are my 3 steps to starting to deal with anxiety, and there's so much more. The other thing is, so don't be angry with yourself. This is a lifelong process. It does get easier. You can still have anxiety. I don't know if it ever fully will like wash away, but you kind of look at it a little differently, I think, is the way it is. I have anxiety almost every time I sit in front of this camera. The whole time I'm setting up, I edit my videos like everybody does, because I tend to ramble, but there are plenty of times where I have started and I start seeing those people that I felt like scrutinized me, and I had this feeling that I was not good enough in their eyes, and like their opinions mattered to me in some way. And I could feel it, and I feel like out of breath and I can't catch up, and I just have to stop. And I will do that sometimes while I'm filming. I will just be like, okay, count the breaths, and then start picturing those who I know who are wonderful, and those who are supportive of me, and will picture them like I'm talking to them instead. And it's that feeling, okay? It's that feeling of, and the same thing with your meditations. It's the feeling of. That is the most important when your affirmation. So when you're really, feeling whatever your affirmation is for that day, I will speak kindly to myself because I am worth it, and really feel that love and that warmth, envelop you. If you're feeling at the time like you don't have anybody in your life and you're feeling really alone, that is the time to reach out. There are many resources out there. Therapy is a wonderful thing. It is not a weakness. I have, had years of help with counseling and reading self-help books, and became a life coach myself after my own life struggles. And it's just all part of life. There's nothing to feel shameful about. There's a lot more awareness now too, so I think that's a really great thing. But I just want you to know that if you're, whether you're young or old, but I always feel like I'm reaching out to my young friends, you're not alone. You're loved. You are good enough just the way you are. And if there are people around you that are making you feel otherwise, get rid of them in your life. Make changes. Don't be afraid. It's hard. Change is hard, but you can do it. And remember, you know, if you're feeling like shit, beautiful things grow from shit. I had someone say that to me who helped me along, and it made all the difference in the world. You will get through this and come out on the other side a stronger, wiser, better person. Just keep on keeping on. So I hope that this helps in some way start to manage your anxiety a little bit. Feel free to comment below and let me know if there's anything else that you would like to learn about, or any other suggestions, any help that you need. Please feel free to reach out. We should be a community to help each other. We got to help ourselves. You know, we should help each other, but we have to help ourselves first. And the first step in dealing with anxiety and depression is to create awareness around what our triggers are and learn how to love ourselves around that. Treat yourself like you would your best friend. Treat yourself like you would your child. If, you know, again, assuming that you're a good person and a good parent, okay? Be loving to yourself first, okay? Everything's gonna be okay. The world's crazy sometimes, but there's always going to be some good positive out of it if we can just keep our eyes and ears open for it. All right, I love you guys. I hope that this was helpful, and let me know in the comments if you would like me to talk a little bit more about some of these tips. Have a great night. Love you much.